Round 1, Brands Hatch. Can our debutants crash the ball? Or can the establishment, Leon Haslam, Greg and Keogh, spoil the party?
Jonathan Ray on pole from Gregorio Lavia, Leon Camier and Leon Haslam. What a front row. Chris Walker, Cal Crutchlow, Shane Byrne and Ryoichi Kianari on row 2. They're all chasing the young 20-year-old Ulsterman. Will that pole position be converted into his first win? Row 3, Tom Sykes, Dean Thomas, Simon Andrews and Peter Hickman. And look at row 4, the names there, Harris, Hill, Rutter and Hayden. Remarkable. First of all, it's round 1 of the Bennett's British Superbike Championship, and away we go for the first time. Coming down towards Paddock Hill Bend, and what a great start for Leon Camier. Leon Camier on the bikeanimal.com. Honda has gone out front straight away from the Rizza Suzuki of that man. Yes, it is, the veteran. Chris, the stalker, Walker is right there in front of Haslam in 3rd place. Then it is, yes it is, Greg Lavia that's there. We're on board now with Keogh. How far back is Ryoichi Kianari? Look at how much work he's got to do. He said to me that 80% of his problem with this bike in qualifying was the rider, 20% was the bike. Well, really, you've got to say 100% of the fault was his on that start, because that was the most awful start. Walker on the Rizza Suzuki, looking for the power up the inside of the bikeanimal.com bike. We're on board with Walker now. This is what it looks like. As Lavia comes underneath Haslam now at Dingledale and up in the Sheen Curve. That was a great Lavia-esque kind of a move. You can imagine that part of the course. In fact, at Sheen Curve, he dumped it the other day in practice in big style. He fell off there and came back looking exceedingly dirty. Yeah, underneath, just get the power on out of Westfield, down to the bottom of Dingledale and up into Sheen. He lost the front coming up here the other day and into that now big gravel trap. Of course, he wouldn't have been able to go anywhere if it was the old Dingledale top as it used to be. Onto the front straight. Look at the lead that Leon Camier has. Well, do you know what? One day I'm not going to be shy with my money and get it out when you think somebody's going to do well. Where is Jonathan Ray?
There he is. Right in the background there, right behind Leon Haslam, and right behind him is Shaky Byrne.
Jonathan Ray was the man that we expected. I didn't ask your opinion earlier on, as we're looking back from Chris Walker now. Chris Walker looking into the face. Well, he's not. The man. Oh, a rear end movement there from Lavia. Lavia gets it sat down. I'll tell you, this year is going. Oh, there we go then. Lavia showing us his class at Graham Hill Bend. Drops down the hill. Underneath the slip sliding Chris Walker. Walker will want to try and snap straight back at him. This is going to be interesting. This is where the power of the Suzuki out of Surtees onto the back straight. But look how smooth that Ducati delivery is.
Yeah, I was going to say it depends who gets out of there best. Walker might have a faster bike, but Gregorio Lavia gets the drive out of there. That Ducati, the electronic work really well, the traction control works well. We're going to have a look at this passing manoeuvre. Out of Druids, down to Graham Hill Bend. Nice and smooth, really slick pass underneath Chris Walker on the Rizla Suzuki there. Leon Haslam, I'm sure, is getting frustrated because he hasn't got the package he wants. He's struggling a little bit with front end feel from that GSE Airwaves Ducati. Not quite got the momentum he had this time last year, but we'll have to wait and see. Jonathan Ray lost a little bit there between Druids and Graham Hill Bend, but Leon Haslam now catching up Chris Walker.
1:25.7, and that just about equaled the lap record. 1:25.724. The lap record is 1:25.728. So by 4/1000ths of a second, the lap record has just been broken. New lap record to Gregorio Lavia. You can see why he's right on the case of Leon Camier. But for me, the man I want to watch is Jonathan Ray, really and truly, because I want to see how he's handling this slightly frustrating situation. Oh, not well. Where's he gone? Jonathan Ray has made a mistake in 5th place. He's still on the bike, but has he got a bike problem?
Well, Shaky Byrne there. No, that's Jonathan Ray. Getting mixed up. Too many Hondas this year. Jonathan Ray there in 5th position behind Leon Haslam, and Shaky Byrne right behind him. Look at this Leon Haslam. He's got his thoughts together. He's gathered himself together. He's right on Chris Walker again. I wonder if he'll have another lunge down into Paddock Hill Bend. Looking back from Chris Walker here, right at Leon Haslam. Not quite close enough this time.
Let's have a look at. Oh, look at that! Well, I'm blown. Now, whether Camier just had it knocked off a bit in the middle of the corner, and Lavia was committed as far as the speed of the corner was concerned, but he rammed Camier. Well, the Spaniard certainly wants it. He's 33 years old and he's after the 20-year-old pretender who is Leon Camier today.
He's so close to him in Drews. It does look like Camier maybe just parks it a little bit mid-corner where Lavia carries a bit more corner speed.
That was the point, of course, where they rammed each other just a lap ago.
Oh,
lovely.
Well, he has to be careful.
I tell you, he does have to be careful. I tell you what, he threw him a dummy there and forced him wide. Yeah, spooked him out wide. Now then, let's have a look at the Honda. See how quick it is on this back straight.
It's quick, but I'm not sure he's going to be close enough. Yeah, Lavia. Leon Camier would just see Lavia in his peripheral vision there, just ran a little bit wide just to keep it safe, especially after that moment it drew it.
Haslam is through, I think, on Walker. No, he's not. Walker has gone back underneath Haslam. So we are at Westfield now. Look at this, battles all round here in the opening Bennett's British Superbike Championship race. I tell you what, Mark Fells is the new managing director of Bennett's. He's here today, the new big cheese in the team sponsor, in the overall series sponsor, I should say. Come to see some of the racing. Well, I bet he's holding his hand up against his head when he sees stuff like this. This was where he threw him a bit of a dummy up the inside, and then basically, as Camier ran just a yard wide, Lavia showed us just how much he wants this championship back, in my view.
I haven't seen him this aggressive in the 3 years he's been
here.
Me
neither.
Very, very impressive, and he just wants to stamp his authority on this.
Stephen Ladyman, the Road Safety Minister and local Thanet MP as well, is here watching the racing. We've got a lot. Troy Corser is here also watching what's going on. John Reynolds is with Rizza Suzuki. James Tozen, you saw at the top of the show, he's here keeping an eye on what's going on. A lot of very famous names keeping an eye on Brands Hatch this weekend. The sun has brought everybody out over the bank holiday. We're looking at Jonathan Ray. I really, really like Jonathan. I've got to say, just looked a little bit tense. Before we came on air, we had an opportunity to talk with Jonathan, and he compared with Leon Camier, just looked a little bit tense, but he is like that. It means such a lot to him. It's so important to him. And he's thinking every single lap through, and really the press and PR stuff at the beginning of a day, particularly here, it's been frenetic here at Brands Hatch. Really, I think Jonathan Ray had enough of that and just wanted to get out on the racetrack. But I still would have expected him to have been more in the hunt for a race win here at Brands than he has actually ended up being. Whether that is down to something they've done with the bikes or not, I don't know. We will get a chance, I suppose, to try and talk with the boys back in pit lane later and get a bit more of an idea of it. Of course, this is only part one of the Superbikes. We've got another race coming up at the end of the show. But right now, Lavia. 2 years ago, he was the leader in the champions. Chris Walker's girlfriend, she might well be praying. Walker and Haslam.
They're slugging it out here.
Yeah, the two Brits.
The toing and fro, and one bike's good at one part of the track, then Chris Walker's Rizla Suzuki's good at the other part. You can see them getting close. Leon was running wide in a couple of spots, but they're pretty well evenly matched at the moment.
Glorious day. 20 degrees out there at the moment. Big crowd, probably the biggest we're going to see just about all year, I would think.
And we've got a three-way battle on our hands here for third position, that final podium position.
Johnny Ray, this is going to test both the critics' view and his ability to race. He has got to race these two guys. You couldn't get two better racers to be amongst than Chris Walker and Leon Haslam. They're both not going to give him an inch. So Jonathan Ray, if he goes past these two as Haslam goes out wide on the Dunlop Shot Airways Ducati, he's being closed at the minute by the Michelin Shot HM Plant Honda. Tell you what, Neil Tuxworth is going to have grey hair.
I really think you're a little bit harsh on Jonathan Ray. I think he's doing a good job. Sure, he's been fast all the way through the winter, but I think he needs to get his season off and running, grab a handful of points, and he'll build on that. I don't think the tyres are working particularly well today. We can see that where Keogh is at the moment, but I think Jonathan's doing a good job, and if he can sniff the podium in this race, great. I'm sure he'll build on that. They almost have to go racing and see what they're up against, see what the opposition really has, and see where they stand in the grand scheme of things. But I feel like he's doing a good job. I'd be pretty happy with him for his first run out here on the factory HM Plant Honda. Shane Byrne there, still in sixth position.
Oh, Leon out wide again at Surtees. He's having a bit of a job to pull that thing down, isn't he, at the moment, and hit some of those apex. Marty Nutt on the another Yamaha rider. Marty Nutt leading the Privateer, the Superbike Cup section, and this on bike number 77. So Marty Nutt, the Ultimate. There's Neil Tuxworth. A lot of Japanese. James Toseland in the background, keeping an eye on there as well. A lot of Japanese in the HM Plant garage, and he's round him. He's gone round him. Now then, how much was that Ray and how much was that Haslam that's having trouble pulling that Ducati down into the corners?
I think Leon's struggling a bit. He's run wide a few times, just not confident, just not able to nail that, and you can see his teammate Gregorio Oliveira got a much better setup today, romping away at the front. But Jonathan Ray now, you can see Chris Walker on his sights, got 4 laps to go. Can he catch him?
Well, it's a long old distance back to Johnny Ray from Chris Walker, but we can have another look at it now. Oh yes, sideways on. That'll be that upset the apple cart and drove straight under him.
Yep.
Johnny Ray. Now that rear end was spinning then, and well, traction control's all very well, but if it's knocking off the power on traction control and then driving forward, and again he missed the apex there at paddock. Haslam's in all sorts of trouble trying to pull that thing down to the apex. He wants to be careful because stalking him is a Stobart Honda with a really determined Shaky Byrne at what has to be considered his home track. So Stobart Honda. Big shout out to Jonathan Klukas, one of the team members from last year, not with us as it is at the moment. He'll be back later in the year, and big shout from the Stobart team to Jonathan Klukas. So JC, they're missing you, and again Haslam out. Oh, he's in big trouble.
Shaky Byrne's catching him.
Shaky's
Stobart Honda's going to nail Leon.
Definitely going to, yeah, and Haslam looking round now, and tell you what,
he's in trouble.
The that's a bit of an understatement, even coming from you. The Stobart Honda, I don't know whether you've been out and around the track, sounds beautifully crisp.
Well, it sounds beautiful, and it looks great with Shane on it. He really looks like he's enjoying riding that bike, riding the wheels off it, using every inch of the track, and happiest I've seen him on a bike for quite a number of years. And
Up
there he goes
Sheen.
under Leon up to Shane Curve.
That's a bit, well, significant in my view as well. I mean, I always think of Shane Byrne as a bit of a Barry Sheen, you know, a younger version of. He's got that same kind of wit, the same kind of sharp, cheeky grin, same kind of. I can't call her a trophy girlfriend, can I? That's just terrible. But you know what I mean. Pretty looking girlfriend, looks good in the pit lane. So Shane Byrne goes through, and you've got to say that that's down in Dingledale. Got a wheelie out of Westfield as well.
Process.
Still goes through in the 67 bike, the Stobart Honda. Paul Bird will be happy. We might lose Paul Bird to this championship if they don't get a result this year. Now, Jonathan Ray. Ooh, I tell you what, that front end looked to me to be under him then a bit.
Yeah.
Did that front end look to me like it was driving out wide?
It didn't look like it was planted.
That definitely looked like that was a bit of a scare there. You saw the toe of his left foot come up in the air a little bit. He looked like he was relying on his knee to keep the thing actually going through the corner. Jonathan Ray may well have a problem there with Shane Byrne.
Byrne's the fastest man out of these three
it's
at the
incredible.
moment. He really is.
Lavia still has the lap record. He held it already.
Look at this.
That'll do then.
Got
Got good drive underneath, but Walker, as ever, on the brake, showing just how brave he is. Is he going to be able to pull it down in the middle of the corner? Yes, he is. Johnny Ray lines him up towards Druid's corner now.
This will be interesting.
Certainly will. We've already lost the pass because up the inside of him has gone Jonathan Ray. Jonathan Ray goes through on Chris Walker. Chris Walker won't have a chance to bite back at Graham Hill. He's got to worry now about the closing Stobart Honda of Shane Shaky Byrne, who seems to be resurgent in this race right towards the closing stage. And Shane Byrne, like Chris Walker, never gives up. Jonathan Ray goes a little wide. Chris Walker almost makes him pay.
Chris Walker lost out in that
I think he didn't quite have the confidence to get on. I don't think the front of that Suzuki is quite as planted as he wanted
Shane
it to
Byrne
be.
with a Rizzler Suzuki in front of him. Do you think that's a bit of a target?
Yeah, of course, Shane Byrne was Rizzler Suzuki last year. He wasn't happy with them. They weren't happy with him. He's moved to Paul Bird's Stobart Honda team. So the scalp of Chris Walker will be a double pleasure for Shane Byrne as he goes down the inside of him. At Dingledale, not
yet.
Into Sheen Curve. We're on lap 19 and 20. One more to come.
Shane Byrne's doing 26s. These guys are half a second a lap slower than Shane Byrne on that last
Still
lap. So
leading.
Shane has got some traction.
Still leading Gregorio Lavia from Camia, 1.6 seconds. Then it's this massive battle. Already it's Ray in front of Walker, but Byrne is going to be looking at the inside now. Oh, this is absolutely great racing from two super battlers. Not on the brakes, I don't believe, under Chris Walker, because if any man on the brakes is better than Chris Walker at Paddock Hill Bend, I'd be surprised to find him here and still living.
Last lap action, will it be into Druids? He's thinking about it.
He's got it.
He's there.
Can he pull it back to the apex? No, he can't. Chris Walker goes back underneath him. It's all going to be down to Graham Hill. Oh, running wide or what? Chris Walker there, a bit of gamemanship. Push Shane Byrne right out to the curb, and that is going to get his pecker up even more. Shane Byrne is going to... Is there a sheep in the office? He's going to get him. Shane Byrne then running wide, looking for the drive. He's going to make the cut back on Walker. Going to try and get the slipstream. He's a bit too close to get any slipstream effect. It's going to be a straight horsepower charge down towards Hawthorne. Still leading, Lavia Camia. Jonathan Ray is the man just in front of these two. He's done a great job to come through in the third place. But now it's a battle on the last lap. We are on the last lap. Up the inside has gone Shane Byrne. He's gone past Walker. No way back for Walker now. Unless, of course, Shane Byrne makes a mistake. I don't believe he will. No great braking area apart from perhaps Sterling's, but I don't think Walker's going to be able to do it. Rich Sheen, next corner is Sterling's. Ray goes through. 67 is Shane Byrne. We've got one more long corner to go. There's your leader, Gregorio Lavia former champion, sideways on as he comes off a clearways and onto Clark Curve. Then the Brabham Straight race 1 win in the Bennett's British Superbike Championship goes to the superb Gregorio Lavia. My man of the match, Leon Camier, goes through in second place. Third to Johnny Ray. Good result for Johnny Ray, and I think a great race from Johnny Ray considering the work he had to do. Fourth place go to the battling Shane Byrne from a long, long way back, pipping Chris Walker in fifth place. Haslam only sixth in the end, in front of Tom Sykes. Chianari only 8th. Tommy Hill, that's a brave 9th from him. They're having real big problems making that thing stick to the road. 10th for Michael Rudder on the MSS Discovery Kawasaki, but no doubt about the winner. Race 2 at round 1 of the Bennett's British Superbike Championship. This man, Leon Camier, has been an absolute sensation in race 1 today on the bikeanimal.com motorcycle. Alongside him, young Leon Haslam on his Airways Ducati, but on pole position is the youngest 20-year-old Jonathan Ray, and that's an awful start for Jonathan Ray. He's gone backwards through the second row of the grid and back to the third row of the grid. He's gone. It's a 2 Airways Ducati, 1 and 2, with round the outside Chris Walker. Leon Camier slots in fourth place indeed, and then it looked to me like Ryuichi Chianari, who's come through into fifth place it is, and Jonathan Ray has gone back to sixth place behind the Stowe bar. Oh, Honda, and that's Walker just walkifying 91 Leon Haslam, and through comes Camier on Haslam as well. Haslam loses 2 places in one bend. Incredible stuff. Out front though, it is 36. Gregorio Lavia just what he wants. Walker in second place now. Camier in third place now. Haslam has dropped to fourth. In fifth place is Chianari. Sparks off of Chris Walker's knee slider, toe slider there as they come out of 13 onto the back straight. And I can tell by the stance of my co-commentator Neil McKenzie, he can't wait to get involved in this.
Amazing start for Chris Walker from the second row, absolutely fantastic, and he wasn't taking any nonsense from Leon Haslam at all. There's no way that Leon Haslam was going to get to bottom bend first. Leon Camier didn't make quite such a good start, but you can see he's determined. His bike's looking good there, although he's back in fourth place at the moment. But Lavia, unbelievable, off the line through the corner, got the whole shot, textbook start.
1:25.999. Yes, it is an emergency. It is Gregorio Lavia out front. That was his time, not me making it up, by the way. Surtees corner, Rizla Suzuki next up. Then it's Airwave Ducati, Bike Animal Honda. Then it is the HM Plant Honda of Ryuichi Chianari. And off the back of them on bike number 4, it is Jonathan Ray wondering what he's got to do in this race to make it work after such a superb run of practice and qualifying throughout the winter.
Leon Haslam looking a little frustrated there, trying everything he can. He doesn't have the horsepower to get down that back straight and into Hawthorne with Chris Walker. But Chris Walker, if you haven't seen him ride before, you think that Rizla Suzuki was maybe looking a little bit loose. Tommy Hill. But Chris Walker, that's just the way he rides. He likes to see the bike, feel the bike on the move, and that's just Chris Walker at his very best. Tommy Hill, disaster for Tommy Hill. 2 laps and he's into the pits.
He never looked happy before he went out for this race. This has been a bad day indeed. In fact, a bad practice and bad qualifying for the Virgin Media Optima Loans Yamaha team. Certainly the superbike side of it anyway. Number 9 is Chris Walker. Chris Walker doing what he does best here in Britain. Remember him back, well, when he nearly won a British Championship. As through goes Leon Haslam now. Walker, remember when him and Hodgson and back inside. Haslam again a little wide. He's having difficulty with that Ducati, trying to hold a line with it.
That's exactly what happened in race
1. Through's come Camier as well. Sorry, Neil. I'm up the inside of you just like Camier was on Haslam.
Leon's so desperate to pass Chris Walker. He let the brakes off there into Paddock Hill Bend. Same thing happened in race 1, but he couldn't get the front end of that. Areas Ducati planted, couldn't get it turned, and Chris just nips down the inside.
He is ever the opportunist, isn't he? If ever there was a bird that was named after him, it would be a crow. He'd be looking for every opportunity. He's as smart as a black one. There's no doubt about it. He really is a kid on the go. He knows any opportunity out on a racetrack, and Walker will exploit it. He will find a way around it. And you've got to say, I don't think the Rizla Suzuki is the best bike out there by a long chalk. And really, he's having to ride the wheels off the thing.
Yeah, he does look like he's on the move there, but that is the way Chris Walker rides. Leon Camier, though, when Leon Haslam ran wide at Paddock, that played.
Look at the gap.
Lavia
has gone through Sheen Curve by the time this lot come out of Dingle Dell. Camier, so far, I know we haven't got an award for it, is my man of the meeting. Number 2, Leon Camier, the Bike Animal Honda. He has been a little bit special in his first ever Superbike racing weekend.
Chianari there right behind Leon Haslam.
Shaky in front of Jonathan Ray now. Shaky's gone in front of Jonathan Ray. Almost missed that. So Shaky Byrne on bike 67, the Stobart Honda. And I have to say, the most improved team, I think, here this weekend so far. Stobart Honda looking like real contenders through practice and qualifying, and also really sweet sounding, those Hondas.
Yeah, look really good. Sound a bit different to last year, but certainly looking good and looking like they're on rails as well.
He's going to hit him. No, he's not.
Running wide at Druids.
What a great onboard that was. And Camia, and Haslam almost hit Camia as well. Camia almost hit Walker, and we had that from Walker's onboard, looking back into the face. I can't wait to see that again, and you can be sure we will. Number 2, Leon Camia, almost ramming Chris Walker, just about bailing out the left-hand side, and then almost getting tangled up with Leon Haslam as well. Too many Leons in this, as you said earlier.
Yeah, it's going to be a surname job from now on, but Chris Walker gets through. Surtees good. He gets a good drive on the back straight on his Rizzler Suzuki,
every
hooking
time.
up well there, and that continues down the straight because he's got a real good top end. Here we go,
Here
into Druids.
I tell you what, he stood that up. It looked a lot closer from the onboard, as it usually does, because the onboard cameras foreshorten the distance. Thank you very much, Monica. I've just been given a note to say keep an eye on Haslam. Of course, Haslam is slipping down the order. A point almost, and I don't know how we're missing it because we're talking about the guys that are battling through. Shane Byrne is obviously moving up. We've talked about that already. But Haslam has already found himself in trouble and he's slipping down the order.
Yeah, there's just so much action going on with these 6 right behind Chris Walker here.
You and I are focused, I think, so much on Leon Camia because it is such an enthralling ride. It's a great ride from an ex-rider's point of view in my place. It's just one of them situations where I'm amazed at how he is he's looking for every advantage. Look at the way he's checking out Chris Walker around the outside again. He's got that bike driving so much nicer in that position and puts himself wide coming down the paddock, but the long way round on Chris Walker at Paddock Hill Bend is surely never going to be on.
Though.
Yeah, but he cuts inside. That's the bit I was just coming to. Is he's using that wide line so he can cut inside and get the drive down Druids.
Chris Walker's good.
He hasn't held it though. Yeah. Well, I don't think whether he got it covered. I think more that Camia hadn't.
Well,
he's going to go up the inside of him. It's going to be a lunge.
Yep.
And it is a big lunge, and he runs Walker out wide. Now, Walker did that to him, I remember.
Look at that, he's going to lose
in
out
race
to
1.
another 2. Look, Shaky and Keogh up the inside of Walker.
Now, Keogh is a bit special when it comes to the stop and start. Wow, what an absolute cracking Bennett's British Superbike race.
Jonathan Reid made the recovery as well. He's right in the back of Shaky.
He's going to need to. Lavia, Walker, Camia.
On board with Chris Walker coming down to Hawthorne.
Superb. And we're only on lap 9 of 20. This is a special kind of Superbike race. The first one was good. This one is just class. Chris Walker cuts underneath him every time. He just finds that drive. It's a real neat drive. It obviously works real well when you need it to stick. Oh, Walker almost rammed him, and that has cost Walker really dearly.
Big time.
Tell you what, he was just trying to... you couldn't muscle your way around Jonathan Ray in that position, and he put himself in that position.
It was a block pass, and Chris was never going to get round him, but he just held in there as long as he could. But unfortunately, he had to run wide and keep things safe. He was out in the dusty part of the track. He really had to be careful, and even Leon Haslam got past at the end there. He almost clipped the rear tyre, the rear swinging arm of Jonathan Ray's bike.
Look how dirty it is out here. It's almost throwing up dust indeed. Chris Walker doing well not to lose.
Use all his off-road skills there, that's for sure.
Of which they are in abundance as far as him. He's good on an off-roader. So Lavia leads. Let's have a look. 8.2 seconds just to give you the exact handle on that.
Ridiculous.
25.9 last time round. All the rest are in 26s behind him, so he's still a second a lap quicker and extending his lead. And providing his tyres don't fall apart, they did have a problem, an issue with the Dunlops in race 1. Lavia certainly seemed like he coped with it well, whereas Haslam struggled like mad. Oh, who's that down on the deck at... is that at Druids?
It's like Druids.
Lavia, 25.894, fastest lap, pace
Safety
car
car.
out, lap 14. Lavia's just gone faster and faster. It's Malcolm Ashley, I can tell you, that's fallen down. So Malcolm Ashley, the privateer in the Superbike Cup, has rolled over. Let's take another look at it. Here we go. Then it's going to be one of those high side jobbies by the look of it. Oh, that was early
really
on,
early
and that's
on,
a collarbone, surely.
Yeah.
He landed on that old right collarbone a bit hard, and they break fairly easy. Out of Druids then.
Nasty thump.
Yeah, that was a big old thump. Didn't do much damage to the bike, but now then, this is going to be about who manages to make the start. The lights are out on the pace car. It's coming in 2 corners' time. We're through Surtees now. This is going to be down to the control of Lavia. Lavia can control this. Camia is going to be down to doing his maturity. He's not done one of these rolling starts before, as far as I'm aware, because it's unique to the Superbikes. So Lavia will come through Clearways here first, and he controls the restart. Then he's on it, and so is Camia. That's a superb restart from Camia. He's really bridged the gap across and dumped third place Guianari. Guianari being the slackest of the front 3 runners on the restart. New race distance, 23 laps then. Because the pace car was out, it's been extended by race director Stuart Higgs to 23 lap race distance. All of these guys will have known that was a possibility, so they all will have been fueled for 23 laps. But I think it may be the Dunlop runners that are a little bit more concerned after, well, when I spoke to James Whittam on the stairs outside here at the commentary box, he'd had an opportunity, we're stuck in here all day long, he'd had an opportunity to go and check things out. And he said that really, particularly Leon's bike, Leon Haslam that is, his bike was in poor shape tyre-wise at the end of that. So whether he'd gone for something softer, certainly it doesn't seem to have been the same problem for Lavia. Didn't seem to affect him in race one, certainly when he won it. And again, a puff of smoke coming from the back of his bike. An extended second Superbike race of the day. There is Byrne, there is Haslam, but still leading Lavia. Oh, fastest lap of the race to Johnny Ray, 25.7. Johnny Ray has gone quickest. He's in third place at the moment, but Ray is... Hooah! Hooah! Two boys going for it, Byrne and Haslam. Byrne and Haslam banging fairings, and there they are. Byrne still has the advantage. Shane has managed to do it again, but look at Haslam. I think he's going to have a go at the inside here at Surtees. I tell you, Johnny Ray is all over. I use the word teammate loosely. Number 2 is Leon Camier. Johnny Ray on bike number 4 on the HM plant, both out of the Honda Racing stable. But of course, it is. So I tell you, if these two take each other out, the two 20-year-olds.
Oh, look at Shane Byrne out wide at Hawthorne.
Bit of grass track him.
He'll do well. What a save.
Well, at least the colours match.
Yeah, he's going to get back on as well. He's going to get to the finish.
I'll tell you what though, those tyres, 140 degrees centigrade in those tyres, will have collected a fair bit of sand. They won't have a lot of grip to them for a few corners.
That was a lucky save.
Yeah, he's good though on the dirt as well, isn't he, Shane?
Fantastic. Well, you can see he was thinking he didn't want a Dean Thomas, James Hayden incident like Snetterton last year. Really thinking about getting on back and onto track.
Lavia through. Camia is in third place now though, because Jonathan Ray on the HM plant Honda. John Jones, a loyal sponsor of Honda, must be pleased to see Jonathan Ray at last coming up with what we all expected this weekend so far. Jonathan Ray has managed to pull his emotions back down and his frustration, I feel, after race one, and he's now in good shape with 3 laps to go. We're on 21 and 23. Haslam, we've got a red flag now. Now then, why have we got a red flag? That's got to be a big off somewhere as well, but that'll be a race distance.
Yeah.
That will be it. Well, we've got a bonfire there as well. That's come out of clearways, and the reason why it's a red flag, that is really hard to get to where that bike is at the moment, but it looks like it's a bit of a fire as well. Gregorio Lavia does the double then here at Brands Hatch on Bank Holiday Monday. He's going to be very happy about that. The Spaniard has been in a class of his own, and despite the fact I banged the drum about Leon Camier being the man of the match, I don't think there can be any other man than Gregorio Lavia for taking that accolade today, Neil, and I hope you agree with me. Colin Wright getting a shake of the hands from the Dunlop boys. Darryl Healy there to the right of your picture. He's going to be pretty happy about that. It's very rare nowadays we've seen him here in the UK. Let's take a look at what happened here and what's... the bike's gone pop, and obviously there's a lot of oil down on the track, and that'll be the reason why that Stuart Higgs has taken the opportunity to stop the race, because with oil down on the fastest part of the course, you can see how close those barriers are. The rider just bails out. It probably just seized on him at the last minute. So the final celebrations of the Bennett's British Superbike Day here on Bank Holiday Monday go again to Gregorio Lavia. What a superb ride he has. The maximum man himself sprays the opposition. The two 20-year-olds in Leon Camier and Jonathan Ray